Needed a bit of a pause to start this off. Are you able to read what they're saying, or? I know you got like basic Korean, but
No.
okay. Well, let's give it a sec before we hop into this too deep. So I guess the question for a lot of us at this point was, are we going to be casting European qualifiers? And I'm going to say very confidently no.
Nice.
Even if you were up for it, man, you'd have to do it alone. I'm so tired at this point.
Not that bad.
I'd
I
probably
think you were hitting what I hit 3 hours ago.
yeah, a time zone difference, right? East Coast, West Coast?
East Coast, Best Coast.
No, I don't think so. It's West Coast, Best Coast. See, it works because it rhymes. East Coast would be like the least coast.
No, that doesn't sound
Game resumed.
at all good.
All right, folks. We are in game number 1. This is not quite a qualifying match yet. The only player to make it to the qualifying game so far is, of course, SOS, where he awaits the winner of Symbol versus Innovation. Over here, though, this will send one of the players to the qualifying rounds, and they'll wait for the winner of Myungsik versus either Parting or Dark. So basically a guaranteed either PvP or PvZ here on the southern half of the bracket for the Intel Extreme Masters World Championship qualifiers. Spawning in the southern location of the map, though, we do have Dead Pixels, Pink Protoss, Patience.
The top position as the blue Zerg. It's soO.
So,
Alright.
I actually had the pleasure of casting soO back with Cats on Hearthstone in one of the previous IEM qualifiers, and I mean, he kind of played to be expected. A little bit of standard, a little bit of panache, but nothing too crazy. Or finesse? Man, I can't even English at this point. I was wondering about this drone coming on the side of the map like this. It did kind of look like he was going to take a really weird expansion, but just checking for proxies, I guess, on his way over for a scout?
Yeah, I guess so. Going a very odd way. Usually, I guess it would be like checking the 4th and the gold, but there's going to be a proxy hatch.
This one doesn't
Okay.
make a lot of sense, but you can still spinecrawler from this, I guess. The reason this is weird, because you've got the in-base hatchery or expansion. You could still expand over here as someone like Patience.
It is odd, and you gotta wonder what his plan is. Like, a Spinecrawler rush is cool and all, but it's not usually seen. soO has been adding in a lot of weird games, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but a Spinecrawler rush should be be cool. But even without a Spinecrawler rush, it could just still be a Roach rush? Just be him right over here? I really don't know.
I guess it really depends on where he takes his gas. Maybe the gas was taken a little bit later, but if it's roaches, that's cool. The problem, though, regardless of what it is Patience doesn't see this coming.
Yeah. Why would he? Unless I mean, he should because he was sent a probe out, you would hope. Eventually, but he's not. So what are the reasons he have to go out there if he's not going to send a probe? Doesn't even get a zealot, so there's not going to be any poke. This is
bad. Now, as far as what this can do as well, let's not forget creep spread alone can be a hell of a thing. And if you have creep spread outside your opponent's natural base or your main base, however you want to look at it, this early, this is really good for Patience, or for soO for scouting information for the rest of the game. But looks like it is possibly going to be spine crawlers. Now, this is weird to see because we're so used to having this happen off the back end of, say, a gold base on Overgrowth. But Mothership Core scouts this. She knows what's up. That's why she's not actually beating away at the spine crawler.
I guess she knows the queen's about to pop out. I don't know. The queen is about to pop out, and soO adding in more spine crawlers might want to add in a spore.
He needs an overlord over here for high ground vision.
He doesn't know what's going on Patience side of the, in his base either. He doesn't know the Nexus is down, he barely doesn't scout that, or that, maybe a Stargate hasn't put down for Void Rays.
Force field actually does not cover properly. Warp Tech not being done does make this a bit of a pain too. We do have a quick Robo coming down, so looking for possibly Immortals to bust through this, or maybe a faster Colossus just for that range. I don't know which, but either way, the Overlord actually comes out of the eggs that are proxied over here, and so's making up a lot of Lings while this happens. The Spine Crawlers have got the damage, the Lings have got the buffer. Can he make this work?
Sick. Of course, Patience is on 2 bases, but he's been spending all of his money not on probes, but, you know, production. And realize he needs observers to take down the creep and maybe Immortals to really bust down the Spine Crawlers.
Gateway's gonna fall. This really sucks. It's before the Sentry pops out too. Oh, that's gonna really sting for Patience. He's got another Gateway coming out, but worst case scenario is if he loses, he's got to finish coding out that Warp Tech. But it doesn't matter because the link speed finishes up. He gets on top of the Sentries into that Mineral Line. Photon Overcharge is popped, but is that going to be enough? Links run right past it and go for the natural base instead.
Okay, so the Sunmax was going to go down, but Warp Gate did finish. But it's still a big deal. No Sentries, no Stalkers.
Yeah. That's not something easily replaced either. Another 150 minerals is one thing, but the time it takes to build the Cybercore is huge. The Immortal does spawn, but he can't really push with this. Without buffer to cover it, the Lynx will kill the Immortal before the Immortal kills those Spine Crawlers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Is this really working, Zombie Grub?
I think it is. Like, it's doing very well. The Photon Overcharge is really helping out a lot. It does go away, but the Immortal, he's going to help out quite a bit too, but the Spine Crawler is going to get rooted. Starting on the Queens. No chance to use available.
Well, kills one of the spines. But, I mean, I feel like the damage for soO's been done. He doesn't have a lot going on for this economy. There's not really a plan B. The Immortals are starting to make this work, though. He's held with 2 of them. He hasn't lost them just yet. Another Gateway falls, but these Queens, these spines, they're going to get cleaned up.
Yeah, I think that Patience is held. I mean, he never really mined up the natural anyways, but it's 2 bases versus just 1, technically.
I love that Patience didn't panic while all of this was going on. That's what I thought out there.
Say that he was very patient.
I was working to it that you stole a joke, but okay. Anyways, bad puns aside, I do love the way he managed to hold. Still going back to the Mineral Line, using a bit of buffer where he can. The Links on top of the Immortals are starting to get a little bit scary. And he's starting to bleed out these probes now, but that being said, I still, with the Spine Crawlers down, there's not the huge threat that it was before. Oh, but he is going to lose power to 2 of the Gateways. Ooh, you know what? This might not be over just yet. soO's still fighting.
Yeah, he's got a lot of Lings on the way, but not being on 2 base...
What is with Patience's force fields? He can't seem to land one to keep the Links out.
Yeah. Would be a lot less Lings if that had been the case for every single force build, but I mean, soO is still containing them, but can soO ever get enough money comfortably to go ahead and get a natural expansion? And I don't think he's ever going to drone this base down here. It would be funny. He's just not a very high economy. The usual, like, Ling floods, like 1313 or whatever, it's, you know, it's usually another hatch, so you have more drones at this point. Maybe they go on a 3rd too, as they decide it's not worth it. But this is very all-in. It's
cool that he picks off the Sentries and the Immortals, but where does that really get him? There's no Spine Crawlers backing this up anymore. There's no reason to clear these out. The Queens are barely living. I mean, more Queens might be better than Lings, to be honest, but...
He's trying to beat out Patience's production, which might work.
More Lings on the way. That's that thing over there. You know, the Immortal being in the natural base is a big signal to just continue pressuring up this ramp.
A couple more probes. It's more than a couple.
Yeah, he was trying to focus on the pylon because he really wanted to depower the gateways, but I guess realizing that the probes needed to be the priority, that he had actually hit the economy of Patience, and he's starting to make it happen. It's still only on 19 probes, but I feel like Patience is... It's still not over, and soO's got a chance. Maybe Patience throws, Patience gets out of position, Patience loses the next to the natural because he's busy focusing on the main. But it definitely feels like it's Patience's game to lose rather than soO's game to win.
Yeah, I'd put it that way. The natural nexus was under fire, but you know, if he doesn't warp anything more here, it's technically possible the Lings... Okay, wait, he moves across. And those Lings will die after getting 1 probe. Now, hopefully, as long as he doesn't miss any more force fields, those Lings will never get back up that ramp.
Yeah, I guess that's something we didn't really talk about. Patience has been holding this with the worst force fields in the world!
Oh, come on!
I feel like his mouse calibration must be off by just a small bit, because every time he puts these force fields down, they're like slowly getting worse.
Every time he lets those force fields down, he lets you down.
Patience is, of course, a player we really enjoy because he's been participating in our TV2 tournament, but also just overall a fun player to watch. But he cleans up that creep too, which means the creep on the high ground is going to start receding. He can possibly start walling this off. And without a spore or spine crawler down, there's no way to knock this down anymore. I think he's done it. I think he's held against soO.
I think that he has. soO's probably realizing this as well, but it's the last-ditch effort. A lot more Lings are on the way.
I like the chance fuses on the Overlord. Not only does it actually live to get away, but it's kind of like a small, like, FU, like, settle.
I feel like Patience at this point could just start reproducing probes, too. He chooses another Immortal. Alright.
Looks like he was going to go Immortal Drop, but he pulls a Yui and comes back home?
Yeah. I guess so. One of the Immortals is attacking the other Immortal in the backseat, and it's like, I'm going to turn this right around.
I swear to God. I will turn this Warp Prism around right frickin' now. With force fields to hold this ramp, I'm surprised he actually doesn't try and go aggressive across the map. I think it would be kind of a cool move, knock down the spawning pool, whatever, but force fields are going to be good. Immortals, Zealots, there's just no surface here for the Lings to connect to.
You throw this game, Patience. I'll never forgive you. It looks like I'll still chew through all the Lings, but that was a mighty amount of Lings.
I don't think Mothership Boys are going to go down. GG. Wow. Well played. Patience takes game number 1.